Hello students, we were discussing chapter number 7, that is getting to know plants. In our last session, we have discussed about roots and flowers. With that, we have completed our chapter. So, in this session, we will revise the whole chapter in short and will discuss the exercise questions. So, let's begin. We have studied that there are many plants around us. They do not appear same. They are divided into three categories like herbs, shrubs and trees. So, what is difference between herbs, shrubs and trees? What are herbs? Herbs are shorter in size. The stem of the herbs is tender and green in color. The herbs may or may not have branches. The examples of the herbs that we use in our day-to-day life are, what are the example of the herbs that we use in our day-to-day life? Coriander, mint, wheat, rice, etc. are some of the plants that belongs to the herb category. Then we have studied about shrubs. What are shrubs? In shrubs, the stem is hard but not thick. The branching can be seen at the lower part of the stem. The examples of the shrubs are rose, tulsi, etc. Then we have studied about trees. What are trees? Trees are taller in size. The stem is hard as well as thick. We can see the branching in the upper part of the stem. What are the different examples of trees? Coconut tree, mango tree, neem tree, etc. Then we have studied about creepers and climbers. What are creepers? Creepers are the plant in which the stem is weak. Due to the weak stem, they cannot stand upright, but instead they creep on the ground. What are the different examples of the creepers? Pumpkin, cucumber, watermelon are some of the examples of the creepers. Then we have studied about the climbers. How are climbers different from the creepers? Climbers take the support and grow in the upward direction. What are the examples of the climbers? Grapes, money plant, etc. Then we have seen any of the plant contains roots, stem, leaf, flowers and fruits. Then we have studied the different functions. First, we have discussed about the stem. What is the function of the stem? Stem helps in the conduction of water and minerals from the roots to the different parts of the plant. Isn't it? Then the leaf prepare the food. The food then travels to the different part of the plants through the stem. So, the stem serves as the two-way traffic, isn't it? After stem, we have studied about the leaf. We have seen the different structure of the leaf. What does the leaf consist of? The leaf consists of a petiole, lamina, veins and a midrib. What is a petiole? The part of the leaf that is attached to the stem is known as petiole. Lamina is the broad green portion of the leaf. The lines that we see on the leaf are known as veins. And the prominent line that we see in the middle of the leaf is known as a midrib. Then we have studied about the leaf venation. What is leaf venation? The design or the lines that are made by the veins on the leaf are known as leaf venation. There are two types of leaf venation. First is the reticulate venation. What is the reticulate venation? The net-like design or the irregular arrangement of the veins is known as the reticulate venation. When the veins are parallelly arranged to each other, it is known as the parallel venation. Then we have studied about the transpiration process in the leaf. What is meant by the transpiration process? When the water appears on the leaf in the form of water vapors, this is known as a transpiration. Then we have studied that the leaf contains starch in it. Also, we have studied the photosynthesis process in the leaf. Leaves prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight and the green pigment present in the leaf known as chlorophyll. During this process, leaves use water and carbon dioxide and releases oxygen in the air. After that, we have studied about the roots. The two important functions of the roots we have studied. What are the two important functions of the roots? We have seen that without roots, the plant cannot grow. And roots help in holding the plant firmly as it anchors the soil. Then we have studied the two different types of root, taproot and fibrous root. What is a taproot? The taproot consists of the main root. The main root is known as the taproot, and the small root that arises from the taproot is known as the lateral roots. Then we have studied the fibrous root. In fibrous root, we cannot see the difference between the main root and the lateral root. All the roots appears same. There is a relationship between the leaf venation and the roots. The leaf that have the parallel venation have fibrous roots, and the plant that have the tap roots have the leaf which has the reticulate venation. The example of the tap roots are carrot, beetroot, turnip, radish, etc. While the plants like wheat, maize, peas, sweet potato, etc. have the fibrous root system. Some of the roots like carrots, radish, beetroot, etc. are consumed as a vegetable by us. Then we have studied about the flower. The flower contains the different parts like sepals, petals, stamen and pistil. What are sepals? The green leaf-like structure that are attached to the flower are known as sepals. Stamen consists of the two parts, that is anther and filament. And pistil is the innermost part of the flower. Pistil consists of style, stigma and ovary. Ovary is the lowermost and the swollen part of the pistil. If we cut the ovary, the small beads-like structure are visible to us. These small bead-like structures are known as ovules. I hope you have understood this chapter. Now let us discuss the exercise question. Let's see the question number 1. Correct the following statements and rewrite. The following statements are given. We have to correct those statements. Let's have a look on the first statement. Stem absorbs water and minerals from the soil. Do stem absorbs water and minerals from the soil? No. Roots absorb water and minerals from the soil. Second statement is leaves hold the plant upright. Are the leaves one that hold the plant upright? No. Stem holds the plant upright. Third statement, roots conduct water to the leaves. Do roots conduct water to the leaves? No. Stem conducts water to the leaves. Fourth statement, the number of petals and stamens in a flower is always equal. Do flowers has the same number of petals and stamens? No. The number of petals and stamens in a flower are not always equal. Let's see the fifth statement. If the sepals of the flowers are joined together, its petals are also joined together? No. If the sepals of the flowers are joined together, its sepals are separated. Sixth, if the petals of a flower are joined together, then the pistil is joined to the petal? No. If the petals of a flower are joined together, then the pistil may not be joined to the petal. Now question number 2 is draw a leaf, a taproot and a flower. We have to draw a leaf, a taproot and a flower. Question number 3. Can you find a plant in your house or in your neighborhood which has a long but a weak stem? Write its name. In which category will you place it? So, can you find the plant in your house or in your neighborhood that has a long but a weak stem? Money plant could be the example. Money plant belongs to the which category? It is a climber. It has a long but a weak stem. Question number 4 is write the function of stem. What are the functions of stem? Stem holds the plant upright. Stem conducts water and minerals from the roots to the different parts of plant. Stem conducts food from the leaf to the different parts of plant. Question number 5. Which of the following leaves have the reticulate venation? Let's see. Wheat, tulsi, maize, grass, coriander, China rose. So, in which of the following do the leaves have the reticulate venation? The reticulate venation is seen in tulsi, coriander and China rose. Whereas in wheat, maize and grass, we see the parallel venation. Question number 6. If a plant has a fibrous root, what type of venation do its leaves have? We have studied about the root, the relation between the roots and the venation of the leaf. So, if the plant has the fibrous root, what type of venation do the leaves will have? The leaves will have the parallel venation. Then question number 7. If a plants have leaf with a reticulate venation, what kind of roots will it have? If the plants have the leaves with a reticulate venation, the roots will be taproot. Now let us see the question number 8. Is it possible for you to find out whether a plant has a taproot or the fibrous root by looking at the impression of its leaf on a sheet of paper? Will it be possible for us to find out whether the plant has a taproot or the fibrous root just by looking the impression of a leaf on the sheet of paper? Yes, it will be possible. In the impression of the leaf, we will see the type of the venation that the leaf has. If the leaf has the parallel venation, then the root will be the fibrous root. And if the leaf will have the reticulate venation, then the roots will be taproot. Let's see the question number 9. What are the parts of flowers? What are the different parts of flowers? The flower consists of sepals, petals, stamen and pistil. Question number 10. From the following plants, which of them have flowers? So, given below are the names of the plants in which we have to see which of the plants have flowers and which of the plants do not have flowers. So, the chilli, tomato, tulsi, mango, jamun, guava, pomegranate, lemon and banana are the plants that have flowers, while the remaining plants do not have flowers. Question number 11. Name the part of plant which produces food. Name the process. So, which part of the plant produces food? Food is produced by leaves. By which process? Photosynthesis process. Question number 12. In which part of plant do you find the ovary? In which part of plant do we find the ovary? Ovary is found in the lowermost part of the pistil. Now let us have a look on the last question. Name two plants in which one has the joint sepals and the other has the separate sepals. So, we can see the joint sepals in rose and in the lotus plant. Whereas the sepals are separate in China rose or hibiscus and in the mustard flower. In the image, you can see in the rose plant, the sepals are joined, whereas in the mustard flower, the sepals are not separated. Here we complete our chapter. I hope you have understood this chapter.